evening, everyone. Welcome to Film Snobbery Live. I think this is, what, episode 55 of Film Snobbery Live? I'm your host, the Film Snob, Nick Baisley, and I'm joined this week, as I am every week, by my co-host, director of Stuck Like Chuck, Jerry Cavallero. Jerry, say hi to the folks.
Hi, folks. And, yes, you're going to have me every week for the rest of this show because you can't get rid of me.
Last show, everybody. Last show.
Yeah, you're going to introduce a new show next week with a new title.
Yeah. That being said, actually, Jerry, yeah, we actually do have a new show that's going to be coming out in the near future. We're getting some of the little vagaries kind of sussed out. Music, graphics, a few other things. We really want to launch it with a bang, and because, you know, it's a daily show. It's Film Snobbery Daily. It's going to be real short form. If you guys haven't heard us talk about it yet, short form, like 5 minutes or less. All your indie news, tech stuff, gear, all that kind of fun stuff, all crammed down into one easily digestive morsel that you can take with you on your iPhone, iPad, Android, computer, whatever, all over the place. So we've got a great show for you tonight. Great show mostly because this will be the part where we talk about tonight's guest. What I did was I decided to open tonight's show up to everybody. Now, you might see me kind of getting back up and, you know, kind of moving back and forth between here and there's a computer over here, production computer. Director Ryan Nishan is actually not with us this week. It happens. I don't know why, though, because he actually didn't call or anything like that. Ryan, you son of a bitch. You know what, though? There are a lot of other people who aren't here, too, because it's a lot of people are actually at Sundance right now. We actually might have a call-in from Sheri Candler, who might call in from Sundance, talking about some stuff going on there. That may happen. Otherwise, we're actually leaving most of the show open to you guys. We want to know if you guys have anything that's going on in your kind of indie world that you want to talk about. If you've seen any good indie movies lately, or if you have any questions about things like crowdfunding, or if you have a project that you want to talk about. We do have a Indiegogo project of the week I'm going to talk about a little bit later in the show called Latchkey. It's going to be really cool. I've got the video. The audio on it's a little low, so it might you might have a hard time hearing it, but I'll give you the URL and everything. You guys will be able to go out and check it out yourselves. Basically, tonight it's kind of like Film Snobbery After Dark, a little almost like radio-esque. Like, we're just basically going to start riffing on some stuff. If you guys want to join in what we're doing, please do. Always feel free to join us over on our Twitter, twitter.com/filmsnobbery. Obviously, we want you to like us on Facebook, facebook.com/filmsnobbery. And if you guys want to call into the show, you guys can call in anytime at 508-499-3669 from your mobile or landline phones, as well as you could actually just Skype us. Film Snobbery is the username. We've got some great stuff coming up in the near future with Film Snobbery. I've been a little quiet the past week. We've had just a lot of things going on, but we've got a lot of positive things going on. Join us, please, January 30th. Sunday, January 30th, for our inaugural event. Film Snobbery Live presents A Day at the Palace. Starts at 1 p.m., goes to 6 p.m. We're cramming in 4 independent films. Gary King's What's Up Lovely, Doran Kipper's Misdirection. Both of the directors will be in attendance. We'll also be showing Ink by Jamin Winans and 350 by Maurice Chevet. So it should be a really, really good evening, or day, evening, a little bit of both. It's going to be fun either way, as long as we don't get snowed in here. It's going to be all happening down at the Palace Theater down in downtown Danbury, Connecticut. It's going to be really just a great time. I'm going to be there. You know, like I said, Gary King is going to be there. Doran Kipper is going to be there. Doran, for those of you who don't know, director of Misdirection. It's a short-ish kind of film. And it actually happens to be about, like, magicians. He is a magician. He's going to be doing some illusions for everyone. It's going to be awesome. So, that being said, everyone really should join us. And also, for our online friends, if you guys, if you put in the, what do you call it there? Promo code. If you put in the promo code FilmSnob130, you'll actually get $2 off your admission, so tickets will only be $10, and that's $10 for the entire event. So not just for not just per movie, for the entire event, $10, and otherwise $12 at the door. Either way, for an entire kind of afternoon of independent film plus a live FilmSnobbery live show. It's live, as Jerry would say. FilmSnobbery live show that will be there. We'll be interviewing Doran Kipper and Gary King. It'll be interactive. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. We want everyone to show up if you possibly can. If you're from Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, whether it's New York City or New York State, come on over, come on down, come on up. It's going to be a really good time. You really should check it out. I've been to this particular theater, for 2 different film festivals and at 2 separate years. It's a great theater to show films in. It's a big theater, very kind of majestic. I mean, the name Palace kind of really fits it. It's just got that historic kind of grandeur kind of to it. It's awesome. So that's that. So join us again January 30th for that. We have some great guests that we're lining up for the near future for FilmSnobbery Live. I can't get into any details, but they're people you've heard of, which is saying something for this show. Because generally we kind of stick to the the up-and-comers, the people, the underdogs, the people that kind of need a little bit of an extra voice. But we've got a couple people that are going to be coming up that you guys have heard, that that you love, and hopefully we'll be able to, for those of you guys who are out there and struggling, maybe you'll learn a thing or two from their experiences. It should really be a great time for everybody. I'm really looking forward to having these people on the show, and really looking forward to having them interact with all of you out there. So, Jerry, let's talk a little bit about some of the different things that are going on in the indie world. One of the big, I know you didn't read up too much on it. To be fair, neither did I. But one of the big things that people have been talking about recently, it was a big news this week, Snag Films, for those of you guys out there, Snag Films, owners of IndieWire.com, just actually successfully raised over $10 million in venture capital. From what I understand, a good portion of that money actually came from Comcast. I could be wrong on that, but that's the rumor mill I've heard. Jerry, what kind of experience do you have, or feelings do you have towards Snag Films in general, or IndieWire? Now, the cool part about the whole Snag Films thing, sorry to kind of interject in my own question, but the cool thing about the Snag Films thing is one of the things that they've been talking about is that they've been wanting to open up independent film distribution, and they specifically said independent film distribution. They were accepting more independent, full feature independents as opposed to shorts and stuff like that. I guess they're going to try to do a more broad distribution plan for them. Jerry, do you know anything about this story or anything about either of these 2 companies that maybe the other people out there don't already know, or anything that, do you have a take on this?
I probably don't know more than people in our chat room, but the whole thing with Snag Films was that it was pretty much exclusively for documentaries. And I've looked up, when I was looking up distribution options and stuff in the past, they always seem like a really cool place to distribute. They have their name is pretty big. A lot of people know Snag Films. They're associated with a lot of sites. You can see their players on a ton of places. But it's always been exclusively documentaries. And that's what a lot of sites have been reporting on, that this $10 million is pretty much going to expanding from documentaries to indie films. So to have some fiction films feature length, I think that's great, because in the past they've shown that they can handle the distribution for documentaries. So I think it's really cool. Although I'd like to know more details on it, since they're really, from the few articles I've read on it, there's really not much information about what the financial structures will be with these indie films. If it's going to be a way to make money for indie filmmakers, how they're going to be promoting this and doing this differently than the documentaries. So they really didn't go into much detail, or at least in the articles that I read. So I think we have to wait for some more information before we can really make a educated guess or judgment on the whole expansion.
Right. Now another quick question for you, Jerry, and I guess a question out there to the audience as well, is that being the fact that Snag Films also owns IndieWire, which is a news source ostensibly, do you feel that there's any sort of conflict of interest for the promotion or coverage of some of the things that maybe Snag Films is courting, as opposed to, I mean, it's kind of almost like having the newspapers working for the studios, and some of the other media kind of tie-in stuff that is generally frowned upon by, by a lot of the conglomerate stuff that, I mean, I guess that sentence really doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean.
That's always been done. That's how the studios operate. That's why it should be different.
Well, it is, but is it right?
I don't know. Now we're getting into like semantics of this. This is.
Yes. Why not? That's what the show is.
Well, what do you feel, Nick?
What do I feel? I feel that journalism should be separate from that kind of side. I mean, we've had offers. And you know this, Jerry. We've had offers and suggestions from people to become an independent film distributor, whether online or otherwise, because we happen to have a lot of contacts that are distributors or financiers and stuff like that. So becoming producers, becoming distributors. But the fact of the matter is, though, is that from a journalistic standpoint, if we were to do that, I kind of feel that it's not like selling out, but I feel that especially the people who are involved in those projects that aren't us would almost expect us to cover them more heavily because because we're involved. I mean, we already get that enough with film festivals, to be honest with you. I mean, we get in bed with a film festival to cover them, and there are expectations that come along with that, and the expectations are that they put out a press release, we either reprint it, retweet it, Facebook it, whatever. We without any real regard as to the content, you know what I mean? Like a lot of these, we have people on our show even where, we'll work with a film festival, we'll set up a special set of shows, or we'll do whatever to help promote, their official selections or the festival itself. And the fact is we don't have a lot of say as to, really the content of those shows. It's like the filmmakers will come on, or the festival directors or whoever will come on, and we kind of have to make the best of the situation, regardless if they have a following, if they've brought an audience, if whatever. I mean, we don't really have a lot to do to reach out to expand upon anything. It's kind of like run and gun, So I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just for us even. It's a very tight line to walk where you get involved with so many different things, and then you then have a responsibility to kind of expound upon them without really much editorial kind of leeway. I mean,
talking about journalistic integrity, like you don't want to skew what readers see the site as. You don't want them to think you're only going to be covering these films now, or you're only covering films that are partnered with you, and that your reviews will be altered, and there'll be better reviews for those films. And I know you worry about that sometimes with Indiegogo, that we're a partner with Indiegogo. But we still talk about Kickstarter all the time. We have people that are doing Kickstarter campaigns on the show. We try not to, make anyone think that we're, exclusively going to talk about Indiegogo and no other crowdfunding sites. And you're kind of taking that to a site that's distributing films and covering films. But I think as long as you're upfront about the fact that this is a partner film, this is a paid editorial or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I see that all the time, especially on bigger sites like Slash Film or Film School Rejects. They would say this article is a paid editorial, or this company is a sponsor of this. The
right.
ads on the site do not reflect
Right, but I mean those are general. You see that a lot on even on television shows, like the ideas expressed in this, or actually you hear that a lot on DVD commentaries. The ideas expressed on this particular commentary do not whatever. We actually have someone calling in though. Let's see exactly what we've got going on here. Hold on one moment.
I'm afraid I'm boring people.
No, not at all. Hold on. Answer. This is kind of cool to say. Hello, caller. You're on Film Snobbery Live. Who is this?
Hey, Nick. This is Sheri.
Hi, Sheri. How are you?
Good.
And you're out in Park City right now, huh?
Oh, yes, I am.
So I was reading the Twitters, and I hear that you're on your way to you're going to be on your way to either was it a party or a screening or both?
Right. I'm going to see the world premiere of Pariah film tonight.
Right, now that Miles Maker has something to do with that one, right? Excellent.
So I'm going to go pick up the ticket in a couple minutes, and then along with that comes the opening night party. So I will be making the scene.
Making the scene and making the green. No, that's good. So what's the vibe out there this year? Because from what I'm understanding from some of my the other critics and stuff out there, I've heard from like Mike Rotman, who's not a critic. Okay, he's another showrunner, but Mike Rotman. But I've heard also from like Greg Valente, who's a local critic up here. They're all saying that this feels a lot more kind of classic Sundance, like where people are actually, there are deals being made and movies are actually getting seen, and not just the big blockbuster kind of indies. Like the smaller indies seem to have a shot this year.
I don't know, because tonight's the opening night. There haven't been that many screenings so far. Really, everything falls into full swing tomorrow. So as far as the pre-festival press goes, I think that you're probably right. There's a lot more positivity going on here. But do realize that the deals coming out of here are going to be far more reasonable than in the past. You're not going to see, millions of dollars being thrown around at films. They're going to be maybe rights bought for a certain window, but not for all of them, not all rights deals. They're going to be for much more reasonable amounts of minimum guarantee. As always, you have to be careful that when they announce it as a deal, that it's not really service deal.
Right.
Sometimes that happens too. It's just not announced that way. But right now it's not that crowded. Tomorrow, starting the weekend, everything will come alive. Right now it's still very reasonable to walk on the streets and not be jostled around and be too crowded, and the shuttles aren't packed yet and that kind of stuff. But I imagine as people get in tonight and tomorrow morning, it'll start picking up and really looking like the crowded festival that it can be.
Nice. Have you run into anyone from kind of our general pool of people that we both know kind of yet? I mean, I know Gary King is up there, obviously. You're up there, and anyone else?
Well, I keep missing Gary. I was over at the New Frontiers house this afternoon, and it's very amazing the things that are happening over there. Very interactive projects, not just Lance Weiler's, but also there's a Chris Milk production. It's a Johnny Cash project is what it's called. If you go to the website, johnnycashproject.com, it's where fans of Johnny Cash can upload fan photos, like fan art, and then they choose which pieces of art they're going to incorporate into video and set it to Johnny Cash music.
Now, we actually did... Oh, go ahead. Sorry, finish up. I interrupted.
The video showing at the moment in there, and then they show you many of the framed pictures from the fans that have come from all over the world.
Cool. Now, Michelle here, Mojave44 from the audience, asked, she wanted me to ask you about Lance Weiler's Pandemic 1.0 setup. Like, are you allowed to talk about anything that you saw there, or is this kind of a private kind of thing? Now, I did see I did see some of the stuff that Lance was working on last year with Pandemic, including his app that he was developing. But what else did you see while you were there, if you could talk about any of it?
Well, I mean, I don't think that it's super secret, since today was the first day that the exhibit was open, so members of the public were going in and looking at it. And right now, all there is to see is you walk into a room, and on 3 walls, and literally big as walls, are video installations sort of showing you what an epidemic looks like, what cells of an epidemic, in the world would look like, something that the World Health Organization would show you on a website. However, this one is going to be, a pandemic created by land. And, it's that area in the New Frontiers is going to be the mission control for the whole thing. And the whole thing doesn't start until midnight on Friday. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening, and I'm not going to go into all of it right now. I think that if you go to the hopeismissing.com website, they will explain more about what's going to be happening and stuff like that. But if you also, she told me, if you follow the hashtag hopeismissing, you'll start seeing tweets from people who are finding stuff and getting infected and that kind of thing around the city, starting it on Saturday, and it will run till next Wednesday. So it should be pretty cool, pretty interesting experiment to see, how his whole project comes out. And also his short film that's related to it is already on the YouTube screening room. So if you check out YouTube, you can find Pandemic on it and watch.
Now, They had, speaking of the whole YouTube screening room. Now, I remember last year Sundance. I think it was Sundance had that kind of deal with YouTube where they were kind of trying a different type of distribution platform with them. Do you? And we all know it really wasn't very successful. This year, do you see any difference in both either anything that YouTube or Sundance has done to kind of expand that or to bring more awareness to it?
I think they've definitely brought more awareness to it. From my understanding from John Cooper when I questioned him about it at Cannes, the reason why it wasn't so well received last year is because it was really a last-minute deal. You know, they really didn't have all their facts together and have the situation straightened out too long before Sundance started. So there really wasn't much momentum in the press and getting people aware that this was happening. So the views were low because of it. So I think that this year, since it's happened before, people are more open to looking at it again. And I think that they'll find more views, more the film getting to be seen by a lot more people than has been previous.
Excellent.
And then, you know, a lot of the shorts, which last year the shorts were not on the screening room, I don't think. So that's a different situation for them. And then they're also doing the festival selects around the different cities so people can watch films from the festival in their hometown at the same time that they're screening here. Oh,
that's excellent. That's cool. Now, are there any films out there specifically? Like I know that around this time last year, when you were at Slamdance, you were repping and working with a couple of different films. Are you there with any particular films this year or anything like that?
I'm working with a short film that's at Sundance, and the filmmaker's name is Trevor Anderson, and you can see his short film, The High Level Bridge, on the YouTube screening room. It's part of the shorts that are being screened on YouTube, and it is a darkly humorous look at the Edmonton High Level Bridge and the role it plays in suicides for the people of Edmonton.
Huh.
So I'm not going to say any more about it. I'm just going to tell you to go look at it, go watch it. It's only 5 minutes, so it doesn't take up too much of your time. And my job basically here is not so much to get reviews of the film, but to introduce Trevor around as a filmmaker to know and sort of build up his identity, you know, around the festival and around the industry. He's Canadian, so we definitely get a lot of good press out of the Canadian press because they want to cover their countrymen here at Sundance. But you know, he got a shout out yesterday on IndieWire because his short has been picked up for distribution by the CBC, which, you know, most short films don't get distribution. So
Correct.
It's an unusual story as well that he is going to have distribution in Canada anyway, both on broadcast, VOD, and digitally.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent. I always root for the Canadians. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've got that French-Canadian side to me, but I'm a very big fan of Canadians. Now, are there any films out there specifically that you're really looking forward to seeing? I mean, I know there's always a couple films at every festival where those are the films to see. I mean, are there any that you're really excited to that you're hoping to get into?
Yeah, I don't think that I'm going to get into any of the ones that I'm interested in seeing because they're the ones that everybody wants to see, or they're, you know, definitely rose off for bigger industry and celebrity types. I would love to see Morgan Spurlock's The Greatest Movie Ever Sold because I think that it's just going to be a good take on branding and product placement and, you know, being sponsored, which is all the things that, you know, as a marketer I'm interested in hearing about. So probably I won't get in, but I would have liked to see that. I would like to see Red State. In fact, I'm not probably going to see Red State, but I would like to just go and see the picketers outside of the theater for Red State because I hear that the Westboro Church is going to come up and have some picketers out on the street, and so that should be a good scene.
That should be good. I mean, it's
going to be a better show outside than there is in the theater.
Well, hopefully Kevin Smith isn't out protesting his own movie like he did with Dogma. That was hilarious. I've seen that footage, and it's absolutely awesome. I know that Kevin Smith was talking about he was going to like auction off his movie. Is he still planning on doing anything like that, or is that more of a publicity stunt for, you know, that or whatever? I mean, do you know anything else about that?
I don't know anything else about it. I only follow on Twitter, Kevin Smith on Twitter, just like everybody else does. So,
right.
You know, I don't have any special line into Kevin's mind or anything like that. But I would be really disappointed if he sold his rights away. He doesn't have to do that, you know. Not to say that he needs to get out there and distribute it all by himself or anything, but I think that he should kind of deal with, making it a service deal where he keeps control of the rights of his film, and he, helps to market the film. He, very famously said there is no audience outside of a Kevin Smith audience. So I don't see how an outside company can reach Kevin Smith's audience better than Kevin Smith can. And I don't think that he needs to depend on that. But, it is a lot of work, and some people are not into it, so he doesn't have to do it. So do I think he'll be auctioned off? I'm not sure. I mean, he's kind of wild, and this isn't, the highest budget film ever, so I don't see why not taking a chance and experimenting with that. There have been other speculations that he's probably already got his deal signed, and he'll just be announcing it, on site. I don't know. It would be interesting to see what he comes up with. He says it now. He says he's sorry that he didn't crowdfund the film, and I'm really sorry that he didn't either.
Yeah.
I think that he could have really made great history with being a very well-known filmmaker who used crowdfunding to support his production.
Yeah, I mean, I go both ways on it myself. I as a huge Kevin Smith fan, I definitely would love to have seen him crowdfund something and be successful with it. And then there's the other half of me that says, well, what if what he raised didn't, necessarily pan out for what his audience expected. Like, instead of using the money for, like, say, a red state, he put it towards, like, hit somebody, or, like, there was some other kind of, Hollywood accounting trickery that kind of went into it. It just, when you have someone that's that high profile doing something like that other, hate to say it, like, let's call it regular people use, sometimes that kind of puts a stigma on that, and other people that might contribute to it, might not have such warm feelings about, going forward if something happened.
You don't trust Kevin Smith. You
What?
don't trust him. You wouldn't give the money to him and say, just make me a great film and I'm going to love Kevin. You don't feel that way.
I don't know. I saw Cop Out.
Yeah, but that was like not his script.
I know.
He just directed it, and so he didn't have very much control over that project at all.
I know. That's fair enough. I'm just
very, I admire Kevin a lot because he's not totally dependent on filmmaking for his livelihood. He's definitely, diversified himself that he can do lots of different things and be successful at it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
filmmakers should look to that.
I'm.
Should really be.
Yeah, no,
their own name and their own audience for that.
No, I'm a devout listener to his Smodcasts and not only his, but even like the offshoot podcasts that he's done, and I definitely follow him and the people that he's that have come up with him, and that's very Sundance too. I mean, because you look at Soderbergh, Smith, Tarantino, Rodriguez, all those guys all kind of came up together, and they are known as like the Sundance Kids. So. This is all very apropos talk anyway. Now, I guess I know you probably have like places to go, things to do, but I do have one last question for you, and that is it's kind of a new year. It is a new year. And do you have any kind of big hopes or any big things that you are, really kind of expect out of independent film this year, or anything that you personally want to see independent filmmakers achieve, or the companies that support them, anything developed there? I mean, is there anything that you're kind of just like, man, I really hope this happens?
I hope that it's just the momentum that was started in 2010 continues to build. I know there's naysayers and there's the bitter people who still want to hold out that dream of Sundance and having the distribution deal come with the 7 figures and it'll all be taken care of for you and you don't have to worry about it. I hope that falls away quickly. I hope that doesn't happen anymore and that people are forced to have to adapt. And the ones who can't adapt, I'm just sorry, I can't help you. But can I think of anything big that I want to happen? I would like to see a platform, a digital platform, who really understands that their job is not just acquiring titles, but also to become known in the consciousness of consumers. Okay. I think that's the big problem, is we have a ton of sites that stream film, good. But nobody knows about the fights and nobody knows about the film.
Right.
So that doesn't do any good. You know, every day I read about a new digital distribution fight, yay, yay, and I'm like, yay, that's just what we need, another one that no one knows about. So I have really high hopes for Snag Films, actually. I hope that with this new money that they have coming in, I'm a little worried that they're getting too diverse before they're even in the consciousness of the people. They were known as a place for documentaries, and I think they should have maybe stayed with that genre for a while until people really knew that that was a good destination before they sort of diversified out into narrative. But I hope they do a lot of spending their money on getting audience instead of getting films. It's all well and good to have acquisition going on, but you also have to have people know you exist. And right now, Netflix is the one to beat, and that's going to take millions, you know, to get people to know about you. So I hope they're planning something.
No, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I mean that's exactly what we were just talking about right before you called in, and as well, you know, we were talking about the whole Snag Films thing, and you know, how it's interesting now that they're got that really nice big cash influx. The question is, what are they going to do with it? And you know, you're absolutely right as far as continuing building momentum throughout, you know, from last year to this year, and also about, you know, building that audience. I know you've said it. I know Chris Jones has said it. John Reese, all those guys, the Film Courage people, myself, everyone that kind of is, you know, that's been kind of a mantra for everyone that we all deal with, I think, collectively, for the past at least year, 2 years that we've been kind of all, you know, in our little circle, as it were, our group, you know, community. It has been trying to be about building that audience, and I think that that's going to continue to evolve, and I would like to see, like yourself, I would like to see that one kind of brand stand out, and I think that that's a big thing that is not unifying the independent film as a genre, as a filmmaking community, or any of that. It's just there's no recognizable brand that people can say like, oh yeah, I want to watch an indie movie. Well, I'll go to Snag Films, you know, or something like that. There's, you know, I had high hopes for indie flicks for a long time, and they've got some kind of cool, you know, kooky things going on over there, but it didn't blow up the way I had hoped that it really would, because I thought that they had some good concepts, but the, you know, their selection of movies wasn't always the best. Or not the most discerning, let's put it that way. But anyways, I mean, no, I think that that's good. I mean, do you have anything specifically, while we have you on, anything specifically that you want to promote that you're working on in the future or now, or anything else?
I have some things that I'm working on in the future, but I can't talk about them.
No!
I think we're going to be making an announcement at South by Southwest. I'm planning to go to South by Southwest.
Well, we'll finally meet you.
It's going to be something interesting, you know, for the filmmaking community. Me in concert with John Reese and the Film Collaborative, we're going to release something jointly.
Great.
So watch this space, but I don't want to make an announcement yet. I'm not sure if we'll be completely ready to launch it at South by Southwest, but we'll be talking about it anyway.
Great. Well, I'll be there. Hopefully I'll get the exclusive.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Why not?
We want, you know, as many people as possible to know about it. It's for filmmakers. It's not for the general public, you know. And,
Great.
So any place that caters to that, we want to talk to. We want to, you know, bring you into the story for sure.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I'm just here looking at the trends, you know, meeting people. I just said on Twitter today, I ran across 4 people who shouted at me on the street because they knew me from Twitter. So please, tell me again why Twitter is useless. It's not useless at all. It's like a great tool for meeting and networking, and then you meet people in real life and you already know them. So this year specifically, you know, has been so far for the first day really great, meeting people I had never met before but knew already.
No, Twitter to me is the good icebreaker, so you can kind of get through the kind of the interview questions of when you meet somebody, and then it's like you already have something in common, so you can continue the conversation. I completely agree with you on that. So yeah, I hope you have a great time at Sundance. If anything else cool happens, please feel free to, you know, let us know.
I'll tweet it.
Yes, she'll tweet it. We'll know. Follow. What was the hashtag one more time that we're making sure everyone follows?
Hope is missing.
Hope is missing. Okay. All right. So.
Hashtag hope is missing.
Hope is missing. So, and then, ladies and gentlemen, Sheri Candler. Sheri, thank you for taking the time. I know that Sundance and any festival, for that matter, is very, very busy. I do thank you for taking a few minutes out to kind of chat with us before you go and party up.
You're welcome, and I'm going to load my pictures up to Flickr because I've been putting them on Facebook from my phone, but not everybody can see them, so I'm going to move them
Good.
to Flickr, and,
Well,
and I'll tell everybody on my page on Facebook.
Interesting thing. I think that Flickr just integrated with Facebook.
Oh, did they?
You can now log into. I know you can now log into Flickr using Facebook, and I heard that there is or will be some sort of integration shortly.
Okay.
So yes, great. Well, thank you, Sheri. You have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Take care. Bye. Sheri Candler, anyone? For those of you guys who don't know her, you can follow her at Sheri Candler on Twitter, twitter.com/Sheri Candler. Yes, so there we go. She's at Sundance. I am not. I'm not at Sundance because I'm focusing a lot of my energy right now on South by Southwest. I know we talked about, it was brought up in conversation. I will be there this March. I will actually be speaking there. My panel, I wouldn't even call it a panel because it's just me. It's more of like a lecture or seminar type of thing called Your Baby is Ugly. So if you're in Austin, Texas for South by Southwest and happen to be able to afford a ticket to go, because they are kind of expensive, look me up. Check out the little seminar. It should be fun. Your Baby is Ugly is kind of my my brainchild as of late. Is something that I really am passionate about. Something I've been kind of talking about now for months before I even got into South by Southwest. I didn't have the name for it. I had a different name for it, but I actually have to give credit to my friend Adria Richards. You can follow her on Twitter as well, at Adria Richards. She's the one who actually came up with the name Your Baby is Ugly, and it just fit the concept of the talk so well. So anyway,
that your movie sucks.
Pretty well. It's not about.
That was the original title because that's what you always kept saying to me, and I assumed you were talking about some kind of lecture.
Yes, yeah. No, I was just talking about how your movie sucks. No. I kid. Jerry's movie is actually very good. That being said, we actually I want to segue out of this now because we had a caller. It's great. I want to talk about our Indiegogo project of the week now because I think that now's a good time to do that. Our Indiegogo project of the week is called Latchkey, and it's directed by someone that you guys definitely know. You know her from she's an actress, writer, soon-to-be director. This is her. This is actually I think her first short, I think. But anyway, it's Jamie King. Jamie King, you've definitely seen her TV movies, stuff like that. She's awesome. And the other cool part is some of the other people involved in this particular project are the director of Fanboys, which is Kyle Newman, and Trevor Moretz, who's the acting teacher of Javier Bardem, Chloe Grace Moretz, and also Jamie King herself. They're going to be producing. They intend on submitting their movie to Cannes, Sundance, South by Southwest, pretty much all the major ones. So they're really looking for high production value. Obviously, if you have someone like Jamie King in it, you already have halfway decent. I say halfway decent like it's a bad thing. No, she's actually a very good actress. Actually, everyone that is in there is very talented. It should be interesting. Anyway, it's called Latchkey. You can find it over at www.indiegogo.com/latch-key, LATCH-key. They're looking to raise $12,500. They've got 27 days left, and they've raised $650. Now, I'm looking at this, and they probably only did like a 30-day campaign. $650 in like 3 days is actually not that bad, but they do need a boost. As always, we do say if you can't afford to give money, please give time. Time tweeting, time Facebooking, or time just talking about it to other people that might be interested in it, because you never know who might be like, yeah, I love Jamie King. I'd give her $50 in a heartbeat. And some of the perks are actually really kind of cool too. I mean, obviously, the more money you give, the kind of cooler they are, but you can get like executive producer, co-producer, actual producer credits and stuff like that, including, that are, you can put on IMDb and all that kind of fun stuff. I mean, and you even have the ability to go like to there's, some private parties with them and screenings and all that kind of fun stuff. So definitely worth a flatter to at least kind of check out. We're making them our Indiegogo project of the week. I have a video. It's their pitch video. It's all Jamie King, and actually a really cute dog too. However, I don't know how well the audio is going to come out, because even on my computer before uploading it, it was kind of soft. So if the volume needs to be raised, just shout me out in the chat room, and I will raise it up a bit as much as I can. Otherwise, you guys can obviously see it over at Indiegogo.com/latch-key. I'm going to play that for you now. Be right back.
Hi, my name is Jamie King. I'm an actress and a writer and a soon-to-be director. I've just written a short film called Latchkey. Latchkey will be my first narrative short that I will direct. It's always been my dream to be a director, and this subject matter is very dear and true to my heart. It is about a young girl who's 14 years old and her first day back to school after her mother died, and her inability to deal with her loss until the world forces her to do so. My dream is to film this in Omaha, Nebraska, where I was born and raised, and include the community of wonderful, creative people there. We have awesome people that are on board. I'm very, very lucky to have the cinematographer that just won the Emerging Cinematographers Award from the Guild for his short that was at Cannes called The Big Bends. I have Kyle Newman producing, the director of Fanboys, as well as Trevor Moretz, the amazing acting teacher who coaches Javier Bardem, Chloe Grace Moretz, and myself, among many others. My prayer and intention is to raise $12,500 to be able to make and complete this short film. And we have awesome rewards and gifts to give you if you contribute. And some of the biggest ones are becoming a full producer, an exec producer, or a co-producer, which is really kind of awesome. So we'd be grateful for any contribution that you can make. I'd be really, really, really excited and happy to share this process with you. Thank you so much.
And we're back. Again, sorry guys, what can I say? I've got no director, so I've got to do it this way. Again, we've got about 15 minutes left of the show. We still would love to talk to you guys, anything you guys want to talk about. If you guys even want to talk to us, maybe a little free consulting time for you, talking about film festivals, talking about crowdfunding. I know our good friend out here, Ron, who was on the show last week, Ron Purty, he was talking a little bit earlier about some of the caveats of crowdfunding, and believe me, guys and gals, it is not she's not I'm sorry, I'm reading this. Crowdfunding is not easy. It almost is a full-time job. Actually, it kind of became I'm gonna just check my audio. There we go. And audio has been checked. Hopefully that works. I might have to up it a little bit. Anyways, so that's Jerry. So the cool part about crowdfunding obviously is getting money. Also, you can use it not only for just getting money for a project, but it's also really good if especially if you're in post-production or you're in the kind of festival stages of stuff, to go if you're a filmmaker. To build awareness. It's kind of like free advertising that can actually get you money. It's kind of interesting, another outlet to use it as. But crowdfunding is a full-time job. I know people that have gotten jobs from being good at crowdfunding. There are a lot of little sneaky tricks, some of them more ethical than others, to kind of raise your numbers, raise awareness, raise the whatever. But the big thing is you've got to have the content, and even having the content, having the built-in audience, and having the awareness, even that sometimes is not enough. You need to bring in a dark horse or two, an ace up your sleeve, a celebrity or two to really kind of, if they can tweet about it, whatever. There are some great examples of good crowdfunding out there. Communities coming together to support a project. Lucas McNelly, we had him on. He was a Kickstarter project that we had on, A Year Without Rent. He was on a couple weeks ago promoting his project. They raised like $9,000 in 24 hours. It was ridiculous with the help of the independent film community. And not only that, I mean, you look at people like John Dragonis and Cerise, which will actually be screening in February at the Palace Theater at our Film Snobbery Live Presents a Day at the Palace. Little plug for us. And you know, they raised, I think their goal was like $5,000, and they raised like $6,500. It was like people just kept giving, even though the project was funded successfully, which is a really good indication of people getting behind you as a person, not necessarily just the project. And sometimes that's the key. I mean, you have to go. You have to sit there and say to yourself, okay, I'm passionate about this project, but are other people going to be passionate about this project? Will people give to this crowdfunding kind of situation because they believe in me, they believe in the project, they like the perks? I mean, there's so many variables to consider that you really need to be aware of kind of all of that, and you need to find that audience and what they really are interested in really quick. You need to, you know, it's funny, you see some projects that have a lot of detail involved in them, and you know, you see other, and they don't go anywhere. Like you see step by step exactly what their plan is and what they're going to use the money for and how the perks are laid out and all that, and it's great. I like seeing transparency like that, but there are other projects that are literally like 2 lines of text, a perk or two, and you know, they'll get $6,000 like that. It's really weird. You have to wonder. So anyway, yeah. So let me see here. Is there? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of chatter about it in the audience here. There's if anyone would like to talk about crowdfunding, again, the lines are open. The number's 508-499-3669, or you can obviously you can Skype us. The username is FilmSnobbery. Feel free to add us and Skype us, and we'll chat. Otherwise, if not, fine. We got the chat room over here. The chat room is live every week at live.filmsnobbery.com. Or if you guys want to just watch it on Justin TV, justin.tv/filmsnobbery. While I'm promoting kind of where we are and what we're doing, another cool thing that for you guys to do and let other people know that you're watching is to go ahead and check into, and this is the first, last week I'll be checking into Miso, I believe. Last week I'll be checking into Miso on my iPhone because I believe I have an Android coming in the next couple of days. If that's the case, I'm very excited. I will have a new phone number though, so those of you who have it, we'll talk. But check into Miso. You can either download the app, it's free on your iPhone or Android, or you can go to www.gomiso.com and check into Film Snobbery Live, and it basically just lets the people on Miso and your friends that are on Twitter or Facebook, if you have it connected or whatever, let them know that you're watching Film Snobbery Live. And why shouldn't they know unless you're embarrassed? Are we that guilty pleasure, Jerry? Are we the, you know, like the thing that no one wants to talk about but they love us?
I think so. They talk behind our backs. They're like, hey, did you watch Film Snobbery Live last night? Me neither.
Me neither. Awesome. Yeah, Dresden Dolly, I have Verizon. You can call me for free. Dresden, I would pay money to call you. 99 cents a minute. That could go either way. Anyways, so yeah, we've got a lot of things coming up. Obviously, like I already said, we have the new show that's going to be launching soon, Film Snobbery Daily. We are making an announcement, and we're revealing something tomorrow. So everyone kind of stay tuned to Twitter or Facebook, stuff like that. We are unveiling something tomorrow. It is actually the poster work for our new screening series going forward. We actually have 2 different posters. One is going to be for the specific event coming up next Sunday. Not this Sunday, next Sunday, at the Palace, and then the other one's going to be kind of going forward. They'll be very similar, but the wording will be different, basically. But that being said, they were done by Miglianico Designs, and they are awesome. I'm really, really excited to work with Tom Miglianico, the principal, the founder of Miglianico Designs. He's a cool dude. He's helping us out by designing these posters. They're going to look real cool. We may see some changes going forward on the website as well, because the guy's a really talented graphic artist, graphic designer, and we've got so much more content that's going to be coming in soon. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to kind of expand out a little bit of what we have on the site to make room for all the new stuff. I want to put out a call for entries for 2 things. Call for entries, first of all, we have this great screening series, but obviously we want movies to screen. So head on over to screenings.filmsnobbery.com, click on the link that says submit a film at the top. It does cost $10, but you know, most film festivals are triple that for any type of submission. And submit your movie, submit the form. You basically are paying via PayPal. Submit the form and send us your movie. We want to see your movie. We want to screen your movie. The Palace Theater is 389 seats of goodness, not that far from New York City. Connecticut is a very passionate film state, and also very close to New York State and Massachusetts as well. All states that are very passionate about film and independent film in general, or specifically. That being said, we have that call for entries out there. I highly recommend that everyone submit your movie. The more choices I have, the better I can program this thing. I really just I want the audience to be blown away by, like I have been, by some of the cool movies that I've seen over the past 3 years doing Film Snobbery. January 31st marks our 3-year anniversary, so congrats to us. So that's coming up. And then we also have I have a call, I know, right? Yeah, a little round of applause for us. It's been a rough road, but Jesus Christ, we've made it. The other cool thing is,
Survived.
Yeah, I survived. It's kind of like, coming home after a war, like I have a little bit of, PTSD, but I'm working through it. But we have another call for entries too that I want to bring up is, Jerry, I think with the clapping, you made me forget what the other call for entries was. Let's see, the movies, and then we want people to...
Swag to put off behind you?
Well, yes, we definitely want more swag behind us, because I can still see Wall, and the Waterhole poster, we moved it. We got so much, gripe from people in Twitter and on the chat room, we moved the poster. Anyways, let me think. Anniversary, call for entries for the screening series, call for entries for... Jesus Christ, I had like one more thing, and I completely blanked on it.
Sorry for congratulating you.
I know, Jerry. You kind of threw me for a loop, because you were nice to me for a minute.
That's what I get.
What else is it?
Well,
see, it's like now it's derailed the entire show because I'm that person. I'm going to obsess over it. I guess the other thing is, another thing I want to mention is that we have, let's see, new show, site, swag, call for entries for the screening series, and then, obviously, if you'd like to be a guest on Film Snobbery Live, we would love to talk to you about your project, talk to you about, and just spreading awareness of your project to, our audience. You can always email me, admin, or, well, I usually do it nick@filmsnobbery.com or admin@filmsnobbery.com. Either one will work. It all goes to me. I've got like 6 email accounts on this thing, which that email will be fun to import tomorrow. That being said, South by Southwest, I'll be there. Hopefully you will be. And that's really all we've got going on that I can think of immediately. I know there was one more thing, and as soon as I cut the camera, it'll be there. But, that being said, let's see.
just keep vamping.
I know, right? Let's see. Stetler Army.
What do you guys want us to talk about?
What do you got? No, we're done. It's 10:57 Eastern Standard Time. You guys all know you can join us every Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at live.filmsnobbery.com. I have been and will continue to be your host, Nick Baisley, sometimes known as the Film Snob, and that is my co-host, Jerry Cavallero, that we've let say more than 2 sentences tonight. I want to thank Sheri Candler for calling in from Sundance, Park City, and I want to thank the audience for being here tonight. I want to thank Michelle, Jake, Darren Levine from the New York City Filmmaker Festival. He says, if you really want, Nick, I have last year's posters. Yeah, send them. I'll take them. I'll frickin' take them. I don't care.
Thank you.
Studio Althea says, you are going to give a copy of Final Draft away to me? Not tonight, but we'll work on it. Unless I've already promised you one and I forgot. All right, great. No Sanctuary sometime early spring. We'll give her Celtic. Yeah, give away a free copy of Celtics. Nice. Yeah, we're cutting back a little bit on going to film festivals and stuff like that this year. It's just been so absolutely crazy. last year, and we're kind of scaling back a little bit at the beginning of this year to really work and focus on the big projects like South by Southwest and stuff like that. We'll get more into that probably next Thursday, though. Until then, I want to say thank you to everyone else who showed up tonight. Jerry, Dresden, Dolly, Michelle, Mojave44, Stuart Alethea, obviously, Darren Levine from the New York City Filmmakers Festival, etc., etc., etc. I want to say, I guess because I'm here. Hi, Sam, because we have a person staying with us. Her name is Sam. She was supposed to be down here in the audience. She was supposed to be down here in the studio hanging out, but she decided to not because, I don't know, maybe it really kind of was. Like, she's like, I live here and I don't even want to see this thing. And I'm like, all right, I understand.
Well, I want you to film my show.
I didn't. Do you want to see me film my show? It'll be so super sweet. No, I didn't say anything like that.
Garage. Let's film.
Yeah, no kidding, right? It's.
Oh, come on camera. That's cool.
It really does kind of sound like an invite to a porno. That being said, good night, everybody. Cut to credits.
Good night.